The 10th publicist has decided to quit the land of Montecito, and many people are trying to spin this into a sort of story of, well, the contract ended, things moved on, the usual stuff. The problem that you have, really, when you are somebody like Meghan Markle is you have now a back reputation. And the reputation is, if you remember, that the Queen had to investigate and do an inquiry into the bullying allegations. And at this point, I have to say that Miss Markle has always refuted those allegations. One of the biggest mistakes I believe our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth, did was not making that bullying allegation statement public, simply because then we would have known whether there were certain things to be addressed or not. Now, you could say it's just rather unfortunate that Meghan Markle, managed to lose, slip through her fingers, whatever, yet another publicist. But behind the scenes, ex-staff tell me that's simply the tip of the iceberg. And more importantly, is Meghan Markle a boss from hell? As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. How are you? I'm all right, thank you. Well, I'm freezing, if I'm honest. But, we like to... Yes, you've got to keep cheerful, haven't you? That's the whole point. And can I thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments about what difference you can have for your breakfast other than porridge. I do have... a lot of you said porridge. I have porridge already. I put jam in it. I put bananas. I'm still hungry a couple of hours later. Years ago, though, we used to have a thing called Ready Brek. Do you remember that one? And that used to fill you for hours. I don't know what's happened, whether it's just you want more or you're just greedy or whatever. But suddenly, about 2 hours later, yeah, you don't feel full. But some of your recipes were really, really interesting. Of course, really what we like is a bacon butty, don't we? Yes, with white bread, butter, a nice splash of either brown or red sauce. You know how to live, don't you? This is the thing. That's really what we absolutely want. But that doesn't fill you much either, does it? No, I know, this is the problem. I tell you, there's a massive gap to fill, tenuous link chums, in the land of Montecito. Yes, another person, as we now know, Miss Robinson, Emily, quit. Yeah, 3 months in, she was going to do wonders. Oh yeah, we're going to turn it round for Meghan Markle. And the world was going to be thinking, wow, she's terrific, Now, of course, all of these people who get removed, I nearly said another word then, but moved on, whatever you want to call it, they all have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. It means nothing in the world of show business because it's gossipy, people find out exactly why they've left, etc. There are many different reasons. I told you exactly what's emerged. Apparently Meghan was furious at that video, pictures, whatever, of her being caught out drinking her own wine and looking at it rather displeasingly in the glass. But it could just be simply a still. And consequently, she presented and given the wine for free at that woman's event, right? But she didn't like it. This wasn't the look she was looking for. And recently, many suggest, of course, that she hijacked the bookstore event. And you might say, really, did she? Well, she turned up with her staff, a makeup artist who was doing her tresses, and of course her other publicist who's still clinging on by their talons for her job. Now, the problem is that's whirling around us as a brand new WhatsApp group for people who worked for Meghan and Harry. And it's an interesting fact, right? Because here's where it gets interesting. You see, many people speak very kindly about Prince Harry and say, he's a nice guy, doesn't really have too much to say, don't challenge him with a serious conversation, but he's always polite, wants to get coffee, biscuits, always willing to have a chat. Apparently, the moment Meghan enters the room, it goes like a store in Iceland. Cold. Now, it can be that if she's in a good mood, and you know this because she may be humming or singing a song, we now know she likes to start the day with music and particularly loves 80s tunes, well, that's great, and that can go very well. Seemingly, though, according to ex-staff members, where it takes a turn for the worst is if Meghan turns up in dark glasses. Now, I'm getting vibes here of Joan Crawford, Faye Dunaway in Mommy Dearest, right? You can imagine your staff, you look up from the computer, oh no, Mommy's arrived. And the reason apparently why Meghan really can't stand and doesn't understand the workings of PR on a more serious note is when she gets the backlash, for instance, of, say, the Halloween pictures or the Princess Diana terrible situation. Above all of that, the real issue, as I say, is that Meghan doesn't understand the way that the media works. The publicist, the communications officer, truly has no say on how this will pan out. But in Meghan's eyes, if you don't get the press that she wants, and it always has to be gushing and, more importantly, controlled, The recent pictures, as I say, outside the bookstore, well, they were with her team, and she didn't like that because she either prefers to be pictured alone or with an assistant, preferably good looking, somebody like Marcus Anderson. So moving forward, Meghan obviously is now on the lookout for another publicist. But many people inside the WhatsApp group, as I told you, have now deemed that Meghan Markle is the boss from hell. And many people are suggesting that it would be unwise if you had a very good reputation and were able to spin it around and were able to get the right PR to go down this particular route. But as I said at the start of the video, many feel that Prince Harry is a very likeable, affable sort of soul. But Meghan Markle knows apparently what she wants, and it's up to you to deliver it. And if you don't deliver it, well, then you could become number 11. As ever, it's a developing story. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.